Okay, well, good morning. Are there any questions before we start? Okay, if not, let me see. I think, let me see where we stopped last time. Okay, so last time we began talking about the Lagrange interpolation and then use of that to design fast convolution algorithms by so-called Cook-Tum algorithm, and then we talked about the concept of iterated convolution, and that's kind of where we stopped. So we were beginning to talk about how to use small length convolutions to build longer length convolutions. So as one example, we were trying to design fast convolution algorithms for 4 by 4 point using one algorithm for 2 by 2 point. Okay, so I want to continue with that for some time and then go to next topic, but let's spend a little time talking about that. So so there are basically two ways to think about how to apply this concept of iterated convolution. So if we think about one approach that I started last time is to think about HP, the polynomial for the so-called filter, if you want to think about that as filter and data. So HP is equal to H0 plus H1P plus H2P square plus H3P cube. So that's a 4-point sequence with degree 3. X can also be written like that, and then in order to apply small length convolutions, we divided H and X to two parts. So the first two terms is one part, and then for the next two terms, if I take this P squared, so-called P squared or Q outside the bracket, that's another part. So if you think about these two are degree 1 or 2-point sequences, degree 1 polynomials, and same for X. So we call that X00, X01. So this is another 2-point and another 2-point. And then so if you think about the product of these polynomials, SP, which is H00 plus Q, remember Q is P squared, times X00 plus Q. So think about this as the outer convolution. So this is the outer convolution, means this is outer convolution with respect to the variable Q. And then if you multiply all these terms together, then each one of these terms can be thought of as the inner convolution, okay, with respect to polynomial P, because H00, X00, all these are polynomials in P. So what I was trying to do last time is to derive one example where the so-called iterated convolution is first convolved with respect to the variable Q as part of the outer convolution and as part of the variable P in the inner convolution. So I want to revisit this today, also deriving in a way which is slightly different, where the P variable is part of the outer convolution and q variable is part of the inner convolution. So we'll get to that. So and then I want to talk about how do we write those fast convolution algorithms in closed form expressions. So that sounds very difficult, but well, I mean, if you think about what we are interested in doing is really describing this whole thing is a one-line equation, and there is some value to doing that because then we don't have to draw these large diagrams. Okay, so all right, so then it's easy to put these two things, so h00 x00 and h01 x01. So those are easy things to write down, which we did last time. And then what is this middle term q, which is this quantity, by applying again the 2 by 2 convolution algorithm, these two terms. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, so so h00 x01 plus h01 x00 can be written down as this term here. So that's kind of, so this whole thing is really the first. So this is the, you can think of this as outer convolution with respect to q. Okay. So so we computed these two. So we computed this one, and the middle part here is the product of term by term of h00 plus h01, term by term of this. So this itself is again a fast convolution. Why is that? Well, let's see. h00 plus h01 is this quantity here is a degree 1 polynomial in P, which is written here. This thing here is a degree 1 polynomial in P, which is written here. Okay, so but so once we compute this, so each one of these is 3 terms. Okay, so once we compute this one and this one, then I need to compute the 3 terms for this, and then subtract this, that's minus, and subtract that minus, and then that's the middle term. Okay, and there is a small last part that let me get back to that, but let me go back, and I was hurrying through the diagram last time, and I made a mistake which I'm going to fix this today. And so in fact I was a bit surprised with this 13 add, because I knew something was wrong, and of course it was in the at that time it was not obvious what was wrong, but it seemed wrong because I know the correct answer should be 19 adds. But okay, so so let's talk about why I missed those 6 adds. So what are we showing here? So okay, I am not going to write down more details of these ones. Maybe I did write down, but it doesn't. Okay, it's obvious to see what these ones are, and that's this term. Those are 3 terms. That's the inner 2 by 2 convolution with respect to P. So that's really somewhat obvious, and so if you think about so if you think about this part here, this will be part of your lecture notes today, so you will get that. So this is computing h00 x00. Similarly, the last part here is computing h01 x01, and then this green part, that green part is computing so if you see what we are computing here, so I need to get these terms x0 plus x2, x1 plus x3, x0 plus x2 multiplied by that, x1 plus x3 here multiplied by that, and then the sum of x0 plus x2 plus x1 plus x3 multiplied by that. So we computed x0 plus x2, green x0 plus green x2, x1 plus x3, and once we got those two, and then we computed the first. This is again, these red boxes are the inner convolutions, so we computed that. So this whole thing is simply h00 plus h01 times x00 plus x01. Okay, so okay, so that's that part. But if I go back to the outer convolution now, so in the outer convolution we have this part, and then the middle part here, as I said, is this product, which is this red box here, minus this minus that. So that's where I forgot to subtract. So the first term coming out of here minus first term from here minus first term from here. Second term coming from here minus second term minus second term. Third term coming out of here minus third term from here, third term from here. So that's the middle three. So if you now think about, so this whole thing, this minus that minus that. So I forgot these two terms to subtract. So that's why we forgot this. Each one of these node is subtracting, well, add or subtract a minus b minus c, that's two add operations. So these three new boxes are 3 times 2, 6 adds, and the total is 19 adds, which is the correct answer. And in that example, so if you just took the 4 by 4 point convolution, 9 multiply, and you can check at home, 9 add, I believe that would be 9 add, is now 16 multiply. So 4 times 4, 16 multiply. So the traditional brute force convolution would be 16 multiply 9 adds, and that is reduced to 9 multiply and 19 adds by this fast convolution algorithm. Okay, so that's the final result. Okay, I can again briefly talk about what's so these are the inner convolutions, and this is actually this whole, all these things are part of outer convolution. So adding this, subtracting these, and these things here. So what are these two? So again, I talked about the last three things. So that if we talk about the 9 things coming out of here, A1, A2, A3, and after these red nodes, I call them B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3, and A1, A2, A3. And then if you put them together, then the first 3 terms are A1 plus A2P plus A3P squared. Now the second term has to be multiplied by Q. So the second term has to be multiplied by Q, and the last has to be multiplied by Q squared. So P squared times all B's, P to the power 4 times all C's, and that's where the overlapping terms come into play, and that's what these overlapping adds are doing. So that's part of putting these terms together, putting the 9 things, taking the 9 things and putting them together to get 7 things, and these two and these two are combined to get these results S2 and S4. Okay, so I'm going to spend a little time talking about writing this whole diagram here by one equation. Okay, that's kind of what I want to do. Any questions before I start with that? Okay, So, let me talk briefly about what is known as tensor product or Kronecker product. And we can talk about, okay, well, what does this have got to do with this diagram here? And as with everything, connecting the dots, and that's kind of, every learning is like a puzzle. So we are connecting a lot of dots. So this is one of the dots, and connecting that with this dot will take a little time, but we'll get to that. Okay, so so A Kronecker product B, let's take a small example. Let's say A is a 3 by 2 matrix, B is a 2 by 2 matrix as an example. So, so if I write down A 3 by 2 matrix A0 0, A0 1, A0 2, A1 0 1 1 1 2, A2 0 2 1 2 2, Kronecker product B0 0, B0 1, B1 0, B1 1. Okay. So what exactly is this Kronecker product? It says that take this matrix B and multiply this with each of these terms separately. So I can write that as A0 0 B, A0 1 B, A0 2 B. So multiply matrix B to each term, A1 0, A1 1, A1 2, all multiplied by B, A2 0, A2 1, A2 2, all multiplied by B. So now what is A0 0 B? Well, that is going to be A0 0 multiplied by, so that's going to be, so this itself is, so this is a scalar quantity, but this B is 2 by 2. So this, each of these terms is 2 by 2. Okay, each of these terms inside this. So this is a 3 by 3, 3 by, oh, I took 3 by 2. Okay, let's correct that. 3 by 3. Okay, it doesn't matter. I could have taken 3 by 2, but okay, now that it's easier for me to correct here rather than delete one column. Okay, so so this then will be A0 0, B0 0, A0 0, B0 1, A0 0, B1 0, A0 0, B1 1. So that is the first term. Okay, I am not going to write down the second term, and then if I write down the third term, so that's going to be A0 2, B0 0, A0 2, B0 1, A0 2, B1 0, A0 2, B1 1. Okay, so that's another 2 by 2. I'm not going to, let me skip the second element here, A1 0 multiplied by this, but let's write down the last one. So A2 0 multiplied by matrix B, so B0 0, A2 0, B0 1, A2 0, B1 0, A2 0, B1 1, and the last element A2 2, B0 0, A2 2, B0 1, A2 2, B1 0, A2 2, B1 1. Okay, so that's the Kronecker product. So this is a 6 by 4 matrix. Okay, so 3 by 3, but each element replaced by 2 by 2. So if you take this dimension, that's 3 times 6 by 6, 6 by 6. So 3 times 2, and then 3 times 2. Okay, so do you understand what's a tensor product of two matrices? Okay, so in general, let's say that this was this is a M1 times N1 matrix. This is a M2 by N2 matrix. then this tensor product is going to be M1 M2 times N1 N2 matrix. Okay. So multiply the first two and the last two. So 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 2 is 6. So the Kronecker product is 6 by 6 matrices. Matrix. Okay. So there are many nice interesting properties of the Kronecker products. So A Kronecker product or tensor product, B Kronecker product C is A Kronecker product B Kronecker product C. Okay, so that's the associativity property. The distributivity property is A Kronecker product B times C Kronecker product D is equal to AC Kronecker product BD. I am writing this down without proof. Okay, this is without proof. Transpose property A Kronecker product B transpose, okay, is equal to A transpose Kronecker product B transpose. And finally, inversion property. So A Kronecker product B inverse is equal to A inverse Kronecker product B inverse. So without proof, I have written down this properties. So I did send you link. Those of you who read my email, or you can read my email after the class. If you didn't, this paper by Tolemieri on IEEE signal processing transactions. Signal processing magazine. So anyway, I sent the link. So that paper is a very nice paper on tensor products of matrices, and I suggest you take a look at that paper. Okay. Any questions so far?
Are there an associativity property of normal matrix multiplication with the tensor product?
Normal matrix, you mean A times. So you are asking if A times BC is equal to AB times C. Is that what you are asking?
Yeah, but between B and C it is tensor product.
Oh, you are asking what would be A times, would that be, so certainly I don't think that would be okay. So you are asking if the distributivity property here is over this product, but that's certainly well, let's do a very quick check. Okay, so let's try to say this is, let's just I'm just going to check very quickly the dimensions before I even take a look at if this is useful or not. So let's say this is 3 by 5 and this is 2 by 2 and this is 2 by 5. Okay, let's say. Okay, so these two is 6 by 10, and then I can't multiply. So I can't multiply because this 5 doesn't match with 6. The dimension has to match. So that does not. So not true. Well, we have to pay attention to these dimensions, and I am not writing this down, but I think in all of these there is a bit going on that I am not really pointing out at this time, because we have to pay attention to the dimensions. So, if I take that same example here, and let us say this is 2 by 5 and 3 by 5 and 2 by 2. So, this whole thing is 6 by 10, and the whole thing here is 12 by 50. And if you take these two, that's 6 by 25, and this is 2 by 2, that matches to 12 by 50. Well, just as a checking the dimensions. So, okay, good. So this is not equal. All right. So, okay. So why am I talking about these kinds of things? To express this diagram here. So I want to go back and express. So we'll get to that convolution there, but let me talk about. So last time we looked at expressing this 2 by 2 convolution as a matrix product. Okay, so we basically took the 2 by 1 matrix, 2 by 1 vector x. So that's x0, x1, and we multiplied by this pre-computation matrix or pre-multiplication matrix, P2. So that's 3 by 2 multiplied by 2 by 1, that gives us. So that corresponds to. So what exactly is that corresponding to? So this multiplication of this matrix is really giving us the first term as it is, x0, then x1, and then this 1, 1 is adding that. So that's what it's doing. It's taking two things and giving us three things. That's all it is doing. So it's taking two things, and that product gives us three things. And if I take the h0, h1, the two-dimensional vector h, multiply by same p, and then treat that as a diagonal matrix with those elements, that is simply describing these products. So diagonal matrix times this 3 by 1 vector is simply multiplying each one of these. And what is Q doing? Q is saying, well, first one as it is, and the second one is middle minus first minus last, middle minus first minus last. So I forgot a minus sign here. And then the last one as it is. So that's giving us, it takes these three things and gives us these three things. So that's done. So that's really the end of that convolution. So I can say let S3 3-point convolution result. So is equal to. So okay, that's what I had here. S3 is equal to Q2 times diagonal P2 times H vector. So that's a two-dimensional vector times P2 times X2. Okay. So this X and H are 2-point sequences, and S is a 3-point sequence. So we can then write down that the so the 4 by 4 point convolution. So it takes the 4 points x0, x1, x2, x3, computes the 7-point result S0 to S6. So I can write down S7, okay, is equal to some matrix A times Q2 Kronecker product Q2. The last one will be P2 Kronecker product P2 times X4 and diagonal element of P2 Kronecker product P2 times H4. Okay, so that's one line equation of this whole diagram. Okay, so and I let me take some time to explain why that simple one line describes this whole thing. Okay, let's spend some time talking about what these are. Okay, so so let's try to find out what are these P2 Kronecker product P2. P2 is equal to, so P2 is 101101. So P2 Kronecker product P2 is going to be, so take this 1, in place of 1 multiply by the whole matrix itself. So that is 101101. So that's for the 1. Next element in the same column, 1 replaced by 101101, 0 replaced by 0, all zeros. Okay. And then all zeros, and then 1 101101 and 1 101101. Okay, so that is a, so this is 3 by 2 and this is 6 by 4. So it takes 4 things, and results in 6 things. So that x4, which is x0, x1, x2, x3. So it takes 4 things, x0, x1, x2, x3. So if you see what it's generating, x0, x0 plus x1, x1. Okay, so that's those 3. The last 3, x2, x2 plus x3, x3, and here x0 plus x2, these x1 plus x3, and then all 3, x0 plus x1 plus x2 plus x3. How does that compare with, so p times x, how does that compare with the inner part here? So if you look at p times x, if you look at these, I made a mistake here. So 3 times 2 Kronecker product 3 times 2 is a 9 times 4. So we are getting these 9 things here. So if you think about what are these 9 things, that's nothing but this quantity. So we get x0, x0 plus x1, x1. So that's those 3, x0 plus x2, x0 plus x1 plus x2 plus x3. Yes, that's this point. x0 plus x. Okay, I should have taken my bar as like that. Okay, not here. So x0 plus x1 plus x2 plus x3 and x1 plus x3, which is here. Finally x, okay, I made even more mistakes. So actually this should go through here, not here. Okay, so x2 plus x3, x3. So do you see that before these multiplications, everything before these multiplications. So we are multiplying these 9 things to these 9 wires, but we are getting these 9 things through that equation here. Okay. What are we multiplying to them? Well, exactly same thing. So P2 Kronecker product P2 multiplied by, instead of the x vector, multiplied by the h vector, h4. So that's what we are multiplying that. So that's what we have, exact same thing. So x0 multiplied by h0, x0 plus x1 multiplied by that, x0 plus x1 plus x2 plus x3 multiplied by h0 plus h1 plus h2 plus h3. Okay, so we are done with that part. So okay, so this part here is 9 by 1. So 9 by 4 times 4 by 1 is 9 by 1. The diagonal element, this diagonal element, all these are diagonal elements of 9. So this is a 9 by 9. So 9 by 9 times 9 by 1. And so far, if you take this whole matrix, that is a 9 by 1 scalar column vector, 9 by 1 column vector. Okay, so Q is 3 by 3. So Q is 3 by 3. So Q, Kronecker product Q is going to be 9 by 9. And then 9 by 9 multiplied by 9 by 1 will be a 9 by 1 column vector. And this is going to be a 7 by 9 matrix. 7 by 9 multiplied by 9 by 1 will be 7 by 1. That's what we want. Okay, I'll get to what A is. Okay, so what is, let's just write down what is Q2, Kronecker product Q2. So first we write down 1, so that's 1 0 0 minus 1 1 minus 1 0 0 1. Then we write down minus 1 minus 1 0 0 1 minus 1 1 0 0 minus 1, and then we write down 0. Okay. Here 3 by 3 0 matrix, and same here 3 by 3 0 matrix. This one is simply 1, which means we write down same thing. This is 3 by 3 0 matrix minus 1, which is same as this one, and 1. Okay, so how does this 9 by 9 matrix relate to that diagram? Okay, so we had this vertical. So okay, now we multiplied these things. So after multiplying by, so now what we have accomplished is, after multiplication we have these 9 results. Okay, so these 3, not the A's and B's and C's, not those, but we have these results. So we have this. So if I draw another vertical bar, so we have this, that's those 3, and then these green 3's and these green 3's. That's where we are, and then this matrix is multiplying to those multiplication results. Okay, so let's try to take a look and see what is going on with that matrix. The first, so now we are getting 9 things. Okay, so the 9 things are, if I have to draw another vertical bar, that would be before combining these. So the 9 things I'm talking about, don't combine these. That's 1 2 3, okay, 4 5, don't combine this, 6, and then 7 8 9. So that's what we are getting. So the first result is itself, so that's just 1, all zeros. Second result is second result minus first minus third. So that's what this one is doing here, second minus first minus third, and this is saying this is just third result, so which is here. So we are done with these three, and the this, if you look at this is a little we'll get back to that, but let's take the last three. So the last three is simply this one, so that's just as it is, and this is just as it is, and then here we are subtracting these two, so that's what minus minus are. So we are done with the last. So the middle, there is a lot going on in the middle, but let me see how I can relate the so let's take the let's take this line and this line, and then we'll get to the middle line. Okay, so this line says this is minus of the first result, and then this is plus first of the middle result minus third. So that's what this red circle shows. So middle result minus first from here and first from here. So that's and the third line of this middle part, same thing, 1 here minus 1. So take the third line here, minus third line from here, minus third line from here. So that's this one, and then a lot of things going on here. 1 minus 1 1, minus 1 1 minus 1 1 minus 1 1, and if you think about, so that's really the result of these two dots. First dot doing this operation here. So what is this operation saying? This operation is saying that it is second result of the group here, minus first minus third. So that's these three. So these three correspond to that node here, and then finally we have if you look at the this dot here, so this dot, so what is this dot saying? That's saying that subtract this. Now in terms of subtracting that is really subtracting this and adding these two. Okay, so that's the subtracting the middle and adding these two. Same with the other one, subtracting, so minus the middle part here, because I have to express in terms of these. So minus this node, which is plus this, minus this, plus this, plus this. Okay, so as you can see, so now finally what is the A matrix? So A is simply combining out of the 9 things, it's combining third and fourth and sixth and seventh. So okay, so so that A matrix that I had here, which is 7 by 9, is so the first one is as it is, second one is as it is, third one is combining third plus fourth, fifth is as it is, sixth and seventh are combined, and then the last are as it is. Okay, so if you look at what really, so we are basically combining these two and these two. So there is a pattern. If you look at it, okay, that the pattern basically says that this is a 3 by 3 identity matrix, this is a 3 by 3 identity matrix, and this is a 3 by 3 identity matrix. Instead of putting them in diagonal, to have 9 by 9 diagonal matrix, we can capture the common, the fact that we are adding these two, shift this up 1, and instead of placing this diagonally down, shift this up by 1. So these two overlap terms are captured together. So that's how we get, instead of having 9 by 9 by pushing this one up, pushing this one up, we get 7 by 9. So okay, so now that all that big diagram has been expressed by this equation here. So this equation says that the 7-point result, convolution result, is that matrix A 7 by 9 times in terms of the, if I know the original P and Q, so of course we start with the small length convolution that are described in terms of P and Q, and the long convolution is now expressed in terms of P and Q. So if I started with a different P, different Q, then I would have different result. But that's really the so I am talking about now how to express a longer convolution that's product of two things. I am not now talking about, so if I want to talk about, say I want to compute a 30-point convolution, let's say just I want to compute a 30-point convolution by combining a fast convolution of 2 by 2, 3 by 3 and 5 by 5. So I am not talking about that. We will get to that. We may or we may not get to that. We will see. But that does become, that's 3 iterations. So we should still be able to write down one line equation for that. And so we will see if I get to that or not. My intent is not to, but we will see. Okay, so with that I can go to next topic, which is really what happens. So if I want to get another diagram, so instead of iterating on Q at the outer iteration and P at the inner iteration, what would the result be like if I iterated with respect to P in the outer and Q in the inner? So that's real. And then finally the question that I want to ask is, how do I describe that by another equation, one line equation like this? What happens to the new one line equation if I change the iteration with respect to P and Q? What happens to this one line equation for the next one? Okay, so that's what is I'm going to spend, probably that might take quite a bit of time. Any questions so far? Questions from off campus if you are listening live? Okay. So, a lot of this class is about structures, and we are interested in deriving a variety of structures, not just one. And the result is not going to change with respect to at least with respect to number of multiply and add. So for the 4 by 4 convolution, 9 multiply 19 add is still kind of the result that we would expect. So change iterated convolution of the same example. So I want to reformulate the same convolution example. S of P is equal to H of P. By the way, everything that I am teaching today unfortunately is not in the book. In fact, the book is more than 20 years old, to be more precise 21 years old. So clearly whatever I teach in the class won't really be same as the book. In fact, will deviate from the book quite a lot as we move along. Okay, so H0 plus H1P plus H2P squared plus H3P cube. Although what I am teaching is not in the book, but it's in the paper that we published in 2004. So if you read one of the sections, and I'll talk about that, I will talk about that a little later. So x0 plus x1p plus x2p squared plus x3p cube. Okay, so now I want to write this as h0 plus h2q. Okay, that's our inner convolution, plus p times h1 plus h3q. So if you look at what I am doing now, so the outer convolution stays with respect to p. So I am now describing this as a first degree polynomial in p, where each of the term is a first degree polynomial in q. That's slightly different from what I had before, which is this h0 plus h1p was together grouped together, so that was first degree polynomial in p, and I took p squared or q outside, so that was first degree polynomial in q. So the role of p and q are exchanged. Okay, so so I can still call this as h00, h01, x00, x01. Okay. Everything is about the same. Everything is really very, very similar. So h00, so these 2 by 2 convolutions, this times that, so this will be h00, x00 plus p squared times h01, x01 plus p times h0, 0, x01, so the x01 plus h01, x00, and the first convolution algorithm says that replace this by h00 plus h01 times x00 plus x01 minus these two, h00, x00 minus h01, x01. Okay, so that's kind of the, this is the outer convolution with respect to p. And then each of these terms, each of these three terms, this term here, this term here, and this term here, is itself a 2 by 2 convolution with respect to q. Okay. If you take a look at these terms together, h00 plus h01, so that's the term by term. So if I just take this term here, just let me write that down, h0 plus h1 plus q times h2 plus h3. Okay, so there is no point writing down the other one, that's just replace h by x. So that's that one. So each one of these has to be evaluated again separately by using three terms, because that's the inner convolution with respect to q. All right. Okay. Okay, the first step is to really evaluate h0 0x00, so that's simply h0x0, h2x2, and then that's the inner convolution. Okay, remember q is p squared. Okay, I guess, I mean, I don't really have a desire to draw the diagram again, but all that will change is instead of starting with x0 x1, we will now start with x0 x2. So that will be x0 x2. This one here h01 x01, so that will be, so if I write that down, h01 x01 is equal to h1 plus h3 q times x1 plus x3q, and that will be h1 x1 plus h3 x3q squared plus q times h1 plus h3 times x1 plus x3 minus h1 x1 minus h3 x3. Okay, so basically what will change, so these two lines will change to x0 x2. So this is really similar to, in a way similar to computing FFT. So instead of computing them in place, so if you think about this as in place, take these as they are 0, 1, 2, 3, and then this is really saying take the even first and then odd next. So if that means it's saying take x0 x2, compute that, and the last two are x1 x3, the odd, and compute that. Okay. Otherwise all these things will stay the same, everything else. So once I replace this by x0 x2 x1 x3, and similarly this will change, h0 plus h2, the corresponding h will change. So okay, so what do you think will be the corresponding one line equation for that part? Okay, so how do I, so here is the thing, x is equal to x0 x1 x2 x3, and what I want to do is from that separate this into even and odd part. So the even and odd will be x0 x2 x1 x3. What is that operation called? What operation will take these three and give us the even and odd? Any volunteers?
Multiply by the permutation matrix.
Yes, excellent. So that's called a permutation operation. So we permute the rows to get these elements. So let me just write down what that permutation matrix is, and then we will continue from there. So so basically we will write that down as a permutation matrix P4 2. So 4 is the total elements is 4, and 2 is called a stride. Okay, that means, so that's basically saying go down this list with a stride of 2. Take this one, and then I can't go anymore. Come back and take this one and take this one. That's what it's saying. So P4 2 is going to be, so 1 0 0 0, and then stride by 2. So take that one, push it right by 2, and then come back and take the odd one, then push that right by 2. So that's called a permutation matrix. Permutation matrix itself has a lot of different properties, very nice properties, and that's probably something for another class or a little later. But I just want to continue with this example. So that's called a permutation matrix with stride 2. Okay, so basically that is saying that if I take, instead of taking the x vector, if I just take the permuted x vector, so this is p times x, and then keep everything same. So, keep basically everything same. So, so what's going on now then? So, instead of taking, so I take x4. So, first I take x4. Instead of taking x4, I take the permuted value. So, p42 times x4, and then the other connections stay exactly the same, P2 Kronecker product P2. And for the H part, so again permute H, because if you permute x, you have to permute H. So, this is the diagonal element, diagonal matrix of P2. So, that P2 stays the same as here, P2 Kronecker product P2 times permuted version of H. Okay, so basically everything stays about the same, just replace this by x0, x2, x1, x3, change the corresponding H values, and everything stays more or less the same. Okay. All right. So, then finally, computing these inner products and putting them together. So, putting them together stays more or less the same. So, to that we multiply Q2 Kronecker product Q2. Okay, now I am going to pause and see where we are. So, basically let's go back to, so Q2 Kronecker product Q2 is going to give us these 9 things. Okay, we'll get these 9 things. Okay, so so let me write down what these 9 things are. So, we'll talk about what that A is, but let me write down. So, if I call these same as before, if I call this same as before, so A sub p, let us call this A1 plus A2 q plus A3 q squared plus p times B1 plus B2q plus B3q squared plus p squared times C1 plus C2q plus C3q squared. Okay, so recall that these q's are, so these q's are p squared and these are p to the power 4. So, if I collect all the terms together and see what we should really get, the first term, constant term is A1. What is the coefficient of B, P, that is B1. So, B1P. So, we are done with this term, this term. How many P squared? How many P squared? 1 P squared here, 1 P squared here. Here, sorry. So, that is A2 and C1. P cube, that is B1, B2. How many P to power 4? So, this is A3 plus C2. P to power 5 and P to power 6. Okay, we are done. Okay, so that's kind of the, so how then do we represent this? So here is what we have. I mean, we have A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. So what I want is, excuse me, well, I made a mistake. Let's just take this one out. A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. So what I want is to put them back as A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. Okay, so now I have A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. And then let's just see what we want. We want to add A2 and C1, so we just add these two. So A1 stays the same, B1 stays the same, then B2, so that stays the same. A3 plus C2, so we add these two, stays the same. B3 and C3 are as it is. Okay. Now, if you think about what is exactly this part here, that's the same A matrix that I showed you before. This is the same A matrix, nothing different. Now, here what is this permuting of wires? What is this permuting of wires? That's the permutation of 9 with stride 3. So I collect A1, move 3, B1, move C1, we are done, come back, collect A2, move 3, B2, move 3, C2, come back, collect A3, move 3, move 3. So, so what I can say is S7 is equal to same matrix A that I had written down before, which is 7 by 9 times permuted matrix of 9, 3 times this whole thing. So I compute up to here, I permute these two things added, that's the same exact same A matrix, overlap of these two terms and these two terms. So we now have, given a 2 by 2 convolution algorithm, I have shown two different representations of the same thing. The number of multiply and add will be same, but this is a slightly different. This is, so going back to those of you who I haven't talked about, or I briefly alluded to, the decimation in time and decimation in frequency FFT, this is exactly similar to that. In the first approach that I spent last time, I was showing you how to take the x values in place, and here it shows how to take the x values using even and odd. Okay, so before I end the class, we have a few things to, I didn't talk about a lot. I want to talk a little more about permutation matrices, but let me just, what I want to do the last few minutes, 3-4 minutes, is really walk through what exactly is the next homework. So there is no MATLAB problem, but there is quite a bit. So let's just go through what the problems are. So read these sections. The representations that we have talked about today are described in an ununderstandable way in Chow's paper. So read that. Chow's paper is very interesting, again, as you can see, published. So okay, it's written in an ununderstandable way, but should be understandable if you listen to my lecture today and then read that paper. Okay. So the first problem is saying use modified Cook-Tum algorithm. So this is a 3 by 3 convolution algorithm. We should get a result of 5-point sequence. Now it's saying use a modified Cook-Tum algorithm. using, so the modified Cook-Thom algorithm assumes the last one is a known. So, use Lagrange polynomial on SP minus H2 x2 times p to power 5, and then you need, it's a 4th degree polynomial, you need 4 known points. So, evaluate that at these given points 0, 1, 2, minus 2. The next one is saying yet another modified Cook-Thom algorithm, but here this is the result of a 3 point by 2 point. So, 3 point sequence and H and 2 point sequence X. So, 3 plus 2 minus 1 will be 4 point sequence, and the out of the 4 point sequence are 3rd degree polynomial. So, if I just used simple modified Cook-Thom algorithm out of the 4 point sequence, I can assume I know the last one H2 x1 p cube, then I can use, just like the previous problem, I can use 3 things. Instead of that, I am saying that, well, let me tell you that I know the first result H0 x0, I know the last result H2 x1. So, now think about a polynomial S prime p. Okay, now this polynomial here has how many points? How many SP is a polynomial of degree 3 or 4 terms. So, I subtracted 2 terms. So, this would be some constant times p plus some constant times p squared. Okay. And so use then 2 beta values plus 1 minus 1 to compute a new convolution algorithm. The next problem is very time consuming and intense, and it is easy to make mistakes. So, this is saying that compute the iterated convolution of a 6 by 4 convolution using an algorithm for 3 by 2 and another for 2 by 2. So, this is showing this first equation here is showing the 3 by 2 convolution. We have 3 point sequence H0, H1, H2 and 2 point sequence X, the X0, X1. Okay. And then the last one is 2 by 2 convolution, where I am giving a slightly different one than we talked about, but that is okay. And so, that is so then use these. So, there is a lot going on here, 2 separate algorithms using P and Q iterations and then Q and P iterations. So, change the inner and outer iterations, and for each of these write down these using the Kronecker products that I have shown, and draw the signal flow graphs for these as well. So, that is a nice practice based on okay. So, okay, first of all, in this problem I want you to do the problem by substitution as I had shown, and in the 4th problem just write down by iterated convolution, just the equations. So, the equations like what I showed are not part of problem 3, but that is part of problem 4, and the last one is simply that is kind of a trick, understanding what to do. Okay. So, I will stop here, see you next class. As you can see, if I take beta is 5, I will compute H0 plus 5. So, we are replacing in small numbers, so then I don't have to multiply. Beta is 2 is okay, but 2 times something is 15, that is not a real multiplication. I want to